Janet Chojnowski began her career in Poland, founding a real estate company that serviced international clients, later sold to C.B. Richard Ellis in 2000. Janet went on to found Immobile, the leading provider of multi-language IDS solutions and custom globalization solutions for brokerages, realtor organizations, and agents. In 2011, Janet led the merger of Immobile and RealBuzz Media to create a comprehensive platform of products and the global real estate portal and network RealBuzz.com. RealBuzz combines social media integration with real estate search and a cross-language enabled platform that gives realtors penetration to 91% of all viewers online in their choice of 13 languages. This year, RealBuzz launched the first IDS app for Facebook. Janet frequently presents at conferences on the subject of global real estate. She is widely quoted in media sources, including New York Times and International Herald. Welcome, Janet.
Thank you. That was great. Well, that's quite enough about me, and now I think we want to know something about you. How many of you have done a sale to an international buyer last year? Not enough, I think, is the answer. And I'm guessing that the reason you're here is that you would like to do some more of that. So I want to just give you a few insights, and if you know these things already, bear with me. And I think many of you will be hearing these things for the first time. We're going to take a little look into what happens when an international buyer starts to think about being an international buyer. And the bottom line is they're buying, and this is one of the few growth niches of people who are buying in our markets. Just the other day, I did an article. The New York market was lifted by 33% last year in condo sales, and those condo sales were made to international buyers. So this is a growing niche, and we want to equip you to take advantage of it. It went up by 20% last year, so they did $82 billion worth of sales to international buyers last year for residential property. We're not talking commercial developments. We're talking mainly single-family houses that were sold by realtors just like you. But fewer than 20% of the realtors in the United States did those sales, which meant that they were obliged to take home $1.5 billion in commissions. They weren't able to share it with you if you didn't participate in that party, and I think that more of you should participate in that growing commission pool. These are real sales that are going on under our feet and in our markets. It also will help you with getting the trophy listings that you might want to get, because sellers have read these articles about the Russian billionaires and the Chinese invasion and all of the international buyers that are coming. And when you go to pitch for a listing these days, you've got some competition that are lining up to talk about the global marketing they can provide. Immobile has already done the global marketing platform for Sotheby's International, and they have been reaping the rewards. For the time being, they're really cleaning up with those trophy listings because they're able to tell that story. And there's no reason you can't tell the same story. It's just a matter of working that into your listing presentation and making it a matter of fact. Yes, I do have a global outreach marketing campaign. Yes, I can get your house seen by more than the local market. I think bigger than that. Let me show you what I can do. If you're on the internet, and it's really hard to find a realtor these days who isn't on the internet in one shape or another, or even several shapes. If you're online and you think you're on the World Wide Web, I have some news for you. You are, but you're in a very small backwater of the World Wide Web. They're using over 100 languages online out there right now. And English represents less than 30% of all the traffic today. Only 14% of internet users are actually in the United States. The World Wide Web is, go figure, global. And there are a lot of people out there online, and they're doing it in their own language because that's what we do, and that's what everybody does. So it's not that they can't speak English when they get in touch with you. They're not going to come here and invest if they can't communicate with you. But if you want to go fishing, and I'm from the South, so we have all these lovely sayings, if you want to go fishing, it's best to go to the river where the fish are. And the river of the World Wide Web is much, much bigger than just the English language corner of it. We started out pretty much dominating the internet in the beginning, and that was in 1996, and how quickly the world has moved on, that we are now the small fractional portion of what's going on. And if we haven't adapted our marketing campaign to go with it, we've been spending more and more to reach fewer and fewer people every year. Google has 165 different Googles out there today. They'll sell you AdWords in each and every one of them. And the US Google, Google.com, represents a very small part of their business empire today. They went global and it has really paid off for them. But just like when you go to Google.com and perform a search, if you're asking it in English, questions using Google.com, it's going to answer you with websites that match that question. So they're going to come to you in English. You're not seeing Japanese websites suggested to you or Chinese websites suggested to you. It's not because they don't exist. They exist in plenty. But that search engine is trained and programmed to give you something it believes is relevant for you. What does that mean in real terms for you? It means if somebody sits down at their computer in Paris and asks a question about real estate, if your website doesn't have any content on it in French, you are invisible to the search engine that that client is using when they ask that question. It's never going to return your website for their consideration because it has to consider that your content is not relevant to that user. Even though they might be able to read your website if they knew about it, they're not going to get to know about it because it's not going to be offered to them. So you need to break through the language barrier in order to become visible on the World Wide Web and not just in your corner of the World Wide Web. And that's important even if you don't want to attract international buyers, because let me tell you that some of the #1 TV programs audience-wide in the United States today are also not being broadcast in English language. That carries over to internet use. We have many metropolitan areas where upwards of 70% and 80% of the people go home at night after speaking English in their office all day, and they go back to media that is in their own native language that's comfortable for all the rest of their family members. And they do that because, well, why wouldn't they do that? And again, you can be missing large parts of your local audience just because you're not being shown in a way that's most relevant to them. In short, you're missing 1 billion prospects online today, and this number is growing and not in our favor if you don't branch out. Is it any better on social media? All the buzz now is about social media. We have to do it on Facebook. We have to do it on Twitter. We'd better do it on LinkedIn. And it's true, but I'm afraid the story is just as bad, if not worse, there if you're committed to doing this all in English. Again, you're playing to a shrinking audience. 750 million users on Facebook. Prime buying age. Great prospects for you. How many of you know, if I didn't tell you today, don't cheat, how many of you know how many of them are not using Facebook in English? If I didn't tell you myself today, do you know this answer? Let me tell you. 525 million out of that 750 are not using Facebook in English. It's a lot of missed opportunity. People are connected to their friends, who are connected to their family, who are connected to their friends. And by the time your message leapfrogs 2 or 3 of these social graph overlapping groups, you might have changed languages 3 or 4 times, because I have family members who speak other languages, and I have friends who do too, and their friends in turn. And if you want to set your marketing message loose to travel in Facebook, you need to set it free. It needs to have chameleon property so that no matter where it shows up, the person who's come in contact with it can see it in the way that's most relevant for them. You know, I was down in Virginia last week, and I had people say to me, well, you know, I've got some clients, and maybe they speak broken English, but if they want to buy, if they want to buy real estate from here, they need to get in touch with this. They need to do, they need to do it in English. That's fine. They can feel that way. Burger King built a fortune out of saying, have it your way. The customer is always right. Make them comfortable. If they're not comfortable at your place, you know what? They've got a lot of other places to go shopping, and they will. Even if they speak perfect English, who doesn't want to feel respected and feel that their business is valued? And these are some of the tools that you have in your arsenal now to really open your doors for business and for more business. You know, one out of 10 of the foreign buyers coming here now are coming from China. I mean, we're not talking inconsequential numbers. $21 billion was spent. I wouldn't have minded having some of that commission. You probably wouldn't mind it either. Guess which Chinese search engines are ever going to index your website in English only? You won't find one. That's why RealBuzz and Immobel together deliver traffic to our users from 145 countries every month on an average basis. And they're coming out of China, out of Japan, out of France, out of Germany, out of all the places that people do come and buy real estate in the United States. And they start by shopping. And they start by shopping from home using their local search engine because they do the same things that we do, just the same way that we do it. So we have solutions for both websites and for Facebook that put the different languages right on your website. They're not machine translation, so this is not smoke and mirrors that gets disregarded by Google. Some people have got Google Translate connected to their websites, and it looks pretty good to them. It doesn't look good to the receivers who can actually read what's supposed to be the translation. It is really not good. But furthermore, even if it were excellent, search engines don't see it and they disregard it because it's a trick of the eye. It's not real content. It's just something that affects the way you see it when you look at it through Google Translate. So they're not getting that famous Google juice by doing it that way. Google is turning off their API in January, unfortunately, for Google Translate. We don't know why, but that's going to bring a lot of people back down to earth when even the solution they had stops working for them. But the solutions we provide have the real language content, even including the keywords and the metadata, so that, the search engines really see it, they index it, and it does give you that worldwide presence. We're here today launching our new app for Facebook. Which is IDX Buzz. It takes your local MLS IDX search. It puts it on your Facebook business page, not your personal profile because that's against Facebook rules, but on your business page. It's a native app, so it installs itself. There's no FBML to copy and no technical work to go and do. And it would have your whole MLS IDX search running in it, branded to you. So everywhere it goes, no matter which language it's going in, if people register for an alert on your app, it posts it directly to their Facebook wall. And all the time it carries your contact information, your branding. It belongs to you. It's tethered to you. When they click on the details, they always return to your Facebook business page. So it's a way to have that viral marketing inside Facebook. And also because it's in 13 languages, it gives you 90% penetration into the Facebook population. When used on your website online, we have the version for web, that gives you 91% penetration into all internet traffic worldwide and onto those search engines as well. So that's a big jump up from the 27 and 28% you get from just using English. And I think there's a lot of difference in there between the agents in the United States who earn twice as much. Those would be the ones who deal with global clients as those who don't. Now these are NAR figures. Agents who, and they're only 20%, don't forget, 20% of agents deal with international buyers. That 20% earn twice as much every year as the agents who don't deal with international buyers. So the difference that lies in how far you send your marketing message is a pretty big difference in real terms of what you take home at the end of the year and the jingle in your pocket. You don't mind where your clients came from, but you need to make it possible for them to find you. And I think that's really the dividing line between those who are earning twice as much from those who are simply not. This is just showing the detail page and the language selection again. Also, when someone uses the app and they register for alerts, it posts it to their Facebook page. That gives you permission under Facebook rules to continue to market to them because you're now connected and you have an affiliate relationship. So you can send out messages to them through your Facebook page. You can click over and post to their wall. So you have a legitimate relationship with them. It gives you a whole new marketing channel right inside Facebook that's available for you to use, and it's all free of charge. Another thing that's available for you free of charge for global marketing, and this is a good tool for you to use, it's realbuzz.com. Your listings are shown in there today, translated 8 languages are live, 13 will be. And underneath the portal, you'll see that there's a place to log in. If you do log in, and you can set up any username and password you want, when you go in, just identify yourself as being a member of MLSLI. You'll be upgraded to bronze membership. You can have your account. You've got free blogging. Your listings are in there translated. You can find your listings and email them to your clients in any language that you want to do that in. You can connect to them. You can invite your clients and friends to join you in RealBuzz. So it's a whole global network and marketing platform for you to use, absolutely free of charge. From there, if you buy the Facebook app, you will manage it from your profile inside RealBuzz. So it's a nice place to go and get comfortable because we hope that we'll see a lot of you. It's a great marketing tool for you to use. Consumers come to RealBuzz to search for houses using the languages that they prefer. They're coming from all over the world. We have a steady climb of visitors. We're over 500,000 uniques now, considering that we've been live for 12 weeks. We think that that's a pretty good climb. Our Google Analytics are on a very steep path. And RealBuzz is accessed in anybody's choice of the languages, and those domains are localized. So if you're looking for French, you go to realbuzz.fr and not realbuzz.com. So we're really pumping out the Google juice to get those viewers in to see your listings. When they come, you have every opportunity to connect with them, join groups with them. You have a business page in RealBuzz. They can answer you can answer questions. They post their questions in our Q&A just like they have on Trulia. So it's a great meeting place to connect up with those international buyers. Maybe they come as far as RealBuzz not knowing exactly where they want to look for real estate. This gives them an overview of the entire country. It gives you a great chance to tell them what's wonderful about your market. If you blog in the other languages, those are going to get pushed up to be preferred blogs. We're really looking for blogging content in non-English languages. You'll get a lot of views. You'll get a lot of new friends. You'll make a lot of contacts. It's a great way to market yourself online. It's a great way to get those conversations started. You know, according to NAR, 72% of buyers, national and international, end up closing their deal with the first agent that they were in contact with. So this is another way for you to get out there and be that first contact. You know, that first contact is money in the bank. And that's why social media is so important now. You don't know where you'll get that conversation started, but that proactive getting the conversation started versus being one of those voicemail messages or one of the emails they sent out in the evening when they were in the mood. If you're Johnny on the spot and you're there to connect with them and answer those questions, you are very likely going to get them to the finish line and nobody else. So global marketing is important for a lot of reasons. Social marketing is important for the same reasons. We want to do more business. We want to get more deals done. We want to see more of those commission checks coming our way. You know, that's what it's all about. Networking is fine for making friends, but we're doing it for business. We're doing it with a goal in mind. So I think it's important to go about it in the way that's going to get us to that finish line the most effectively, the fastest, the most efficiently. And in social media terms today, we have to think global because we really live in a globalized, it's strange to say in a global world, but it is. It's a very open world with a lot of money and a lot of movement across those borders and across those languages. Does anybody have any questions for me? Yes, sir. Thank you. The languages that are available. So English, which is the foreign language for our international listings coming in. Spanish, Brazilian Portuguese, another important buying group. French, Italian, German, Polish, Russian, Korean, Vietnamese, 2 varieties of Chinese, Mandarin and Cantonese, and Japanese.
Can I ask a follow-up?
Yes?
So there are no Hebrew or Arabic languages available?
No, we don't have Hebrew or Arabic right now. We're giving 91% penetration into the traffic. After that, you can add more languages, but you really get very small incremental uplift in the number of users that you're going to reach. And we're sort of standing where we are right now. Yes?
You had said that if you put the put this through your IDX, the IDX through the Buzz system, it will reach out to the other areas. Do you also have to write google.fr, German, wherever you're sending it to, or it'll be just on the regular Google that you said they don't hit that?
It's not that we're sending it, it's that the search engines are finding you. So search engines are out there crawling internet sites all the time. That's their business. We've proactively gone after them for real buzz, but for your own website perspective, what's important will be that you have the other language content there, that you've got the metadata and keywords there. That's part of the package we provide you. The Google spiders will find you and they will index those pages. If you have a webmaster, you can have them register your website with Google more proactively, but they will crawl it and they will find it because you have very little competition. If you're talking about Long Island and you're doing that in Russian, you're probably fighting for market share with 10 or 20 people, as opposed to the hundreds of thousands of people that you're fighting with when you do it in English language. Yes, sir. Well, you could speak back to them in your language. That'd be a good start. Let me tell you that question, what if somebody calls me who's speaking another language? That fear has kept more people out of the earning twice as much than any other single point I have ever come across. I've never given a presentation yet when that question hasn't come up. Let me tell you that if people are out to spend their money in your market, they've got money. Step 1, which means they're not stupid, step 2. So they have a plan, and their plan isn't that they're going to call up any random agent they come across and have a conversation in Chinese or Vietnamese or any kind of ease. So they probably speak from fluent to at least very good English, or they're not really interested in parting with their money in your marketplace. But let's say somebody just won the lottery in Vietnam and they want to buy some real estate. Again, they've got somebody with them who can communicate. They've got a plan. I mean, they're not just out wandering around with the money in their pocket hoping that they ricochet into somebody who can help them. But at the worst pass, you can always refer them off to somebody else who would have an easier time dealing with them. It is not difficult to find another agent in your marketplace who speaks just about any language any of us could think of. And you could always call them up and say, hey, I have a customer here. I'm having a little communication problem. Would you like me to refer them to you? You'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who would say, no, don't bother me. You'd probably make a new friend. Yes?
Can you tell me what the name of that app is that you were saying?
Yes, it's IDX Buzz. We'll be sending out an email through the association after this, so probably tomorrow or Monday, with all of the information, again, the links where you can go through to purchase and set up. I'm sorry that the team member who was going to come with me today with the stand and all the material, her husband was hospitalized, so she didn't make her flight. So I'm a little unprepared on that front. Otherwise, we'd have handouts for you. But we will email everything out so that you'll have that information. Yes, ma'am. Real Buzz is a free service, and you get a free upgrade because of being members of the MLS. So you can go in RealBuzz, hang out, blog, connect, your listings are there. If you want the Facebook app or the translated IDX for your website, both of those are paid services. They're $19.99 a month, either or. And for that, you need to have also the permission from MLSLI to use IDX. So if you've got that IDX pass, as it were, then you can have either one of these products. You don't have to buy that pass again. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Then there'll be an 800 support number, and you can certainly come back to us with any questions you might have. What is that? You know, we translate your company profile and information for you. Part of your translated bio and resume on the website module would give that in 13 languages so they can read about you. It also lets you tell them very clearly which languages you personally do speak so that they'll know that right up front.
What about the listings themselves?
The listings are translated. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the search is translated. Everything is they can have a complete experience with your property search and results in any language they choose, just the same as they would in English. Okay? Yes, ma'am. The association will email you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've been partners with MLSLI for about 7 years now. Been translating their IDX and MLS data all that time. You'll see the translated search running on MLSLI.com. That's been a great bringer of traffic and probably buyer leads into you all these years. So I'm happy to say that this has been a long-standing partnership. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, and I wish you the best of luck. I hope next year when I ask you that question, I just get a lot more hands that you did a deal this year. Thanks so much.